The first sign of Michael's betrayal came through a text message. I wasn't snooping, I was simply reaching for his phone to silence it. The message, glaring on the screen, shattered my illusion of a perfect marriage. It read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Love." A torrent of emotions surged within me: anger, hurt, disbelief. How could he? After everything we'd been through. "Michael, what the hell is this?" I confronted him, phone in hand. He paled, his eyes darting around as if seeking an escape route. "It's not what it looks like, Sophia," he stammered, but his guilt was palpable. "Not what it looks like. Then explain it to me. Please, I'm dying to hear your excuses." A heated argument ensued, voices raised and accusations hurled. Michael finally stormed out, slamming the door behind him, leaving me standing there, trembling with rage and grief. I could barely process what had happened when I realized our joint savings were gone too. He had not only betrayed my trust, but also left me in a financial crisis. That night, I sat in our darkened living room, trying to make sense of it all. My thoughts were interrupted by Emily's voice from the top of the stairs. "Mom, is everything okay?" she asked, her voice small and scared. I took a deep breath, forcing a smile. "Everything's fine, sweetheart. Go back to bed." But nothing was fine. The following days were a blur of survival. I had to keep it together for Emily, who was struggling to understand why her father had left so abruptly. She began acting out at school, her grades slipping, and her once bright demeanor darkening. It was like watching a mirror of my own turmoil reflected in her eyes. "Mrs. Carson, we need to talk about Emily," her teacher said during a meeting. "She's been disruptive in class and her grades are falling." I nodded, tears threatening to spill over. "I'm doing my best to help her through this, but it's been hard on both of us." I knew I couldn't do it alone. Swallowing my pride, I reached out to a support group for single parents. The first meeting was awkward, but hearing others' stories gave me a strange sense of comfort. I wasn't alone in this nightmare. I found solace in their advice and encouragement. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day of juggling multiple jobs, I sat down with Emily. "How was school today?" She shrugged, not meeting my eyes. "Fine. Emily, talk to me. I know things have been rough." Her lip quivered. "I miss Dad. I don't understand why he left." I pulled her into a hug, feeling her small body shaking with sobs. "I know, honey. I miss him too. But we're going to get through this together, okay?" Financial strain became a constant companion, gnawing at my peace of mind. The legal proceedings began, and consulting a lawyer was another harsh dose of reality. "You have rights, Sophia. We'll fight for what you and Emily deserve," my lawyer reassured me. Meanwhile, Emily, sensing the heavy burden I carried, started stepping up in ways that both broke my heart and filled it with pride. "Mom, I did the laundry and my homework," she announced one evening, her face determined. "You're amazing, Emily," I said, tears in my eyes. "Thank you." Then there was Jack, an old friend I hadn't seen in years. We reconnected almost by accident, a chance encounter at the grocery store. He offered a listening ear and, surprisingly, financial support. "You don't have to do this alone, Sophia," he insisted. Our conversations became a lifeline. He understood the complexities of my situation, providing not just help, but genuine friendship. "I'm here for you, whatever you need," he told me one evening over coffee. His kindness was a stark contrast to the betrayal I'd experienced. It was hard to accept help, but Jack's support became a beacon of hope in the chaos. As I lay in bed one night, listening to the rhythmic breathing of Emily in the next room, I realized that despite the pain and upheaval, I was not broken. Betrayed? Yes. Hurt? Definitely. But I still had the strength to face each day, to rebuild my life for Emily and myself. The unseen betrayal had shattered my world, but it had also ignited a fire within me. I was determined to rise from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than ever. The support group for single parents was a lifeline I hadn't realized I needed. My first meeting was filled with nervous energy, a room full of strangers who somehow seemed to understand my pain. We sat in a circle, sharing our stories. When it was my turn, I took a deep breath. "I'm Sophia," I began, my voice trembling. "My husband left us. He took our savings, and I'm struggling to keep things together for my daughter." The nods of understanding, the murmurs of sympathy, felt like a balm to my raw emotions. One woman, Clara, leaned over and squeezed my hand. "We've all been there. You're not alone, and you'll get through this." Those words, simple as they were, anchored me. Each meeting thereafter became a beacon of hope, a reminder that there was a way forward, even if the path was unclear. My next step was seeking legal counsel. Sitting in the lawyer's office, I felt the weight of the situation pressing down on me. The room was sterile, filled with the scent of paperwork and tension. "Mrs. Carson, you have rights. We'll fight for what you and Emily deserve," my lawyer, Mr. Thompson, assured me. His confidence was a stark contrast to my own wavering resolve. "What about the money he took and custody of Emily?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "We'll address all of that. It's going to be a battle, but you're not in this alone," he replied, his eyes meeting mine with a steady, reassuring gaze. The legal proceedings began, and I juggled multiple jobs to make ends meet. The exhaustion was a constant companion, pulling at the edges of my sanity. Every morning, I plastered on a smile for Emily, determined to shield her from the worst of it. She had started helping more around the house, her small acts of responsibility both heartbreaking and uplifting. "Mom, I cleaned my room and did the dishes," she announced one evening, her face serious and mature beyond her years. "Thank you, Emily. I don't know what I'd do without you," I replied, pulling her into a hug. Her resilience was astonishing, and it spurred me to keep pushing forward. Then there was Jack. Running into him at the grocery store felt like fate. We had been friends years ago, but life had taken us in different directions. Now he was a steady presence, offering support without judgment. "Sophia, let me help you. Financially, emotionally, whatever you need," he said one evening over coffee. "I don't want to be a burden, Jack," I responded, the pride and vulnerability warring within me. "You're not a burden. You're a friend. And friends help each other," he insisted, his eyes sincere and unwavering. Jack's support was a lifeline, but it also stirred something deeper, a hope that I wasn't ready to face. For now, his friendship was enough, a steady anchor in the storm of my life. As the weeks turned into months, the strain of balancing work, legal battles, and parenting took its toll. But with every challenge, there was a small victory. Emily's grades began to improve, a testament to her inner strength. Each paycheck, though meager, was a step towards financial stability. One night, after a particularly grueling day, I found myself sitting on the porch, staring at the stars. Emily joined me, her presence a comforting balm. "Do you think Dad will ever come back?" she asked, her voice filled with a mix of hope and sadness. "I don't know, sweetheart. But no matter what, we have each other. And that's enough," I replied, pulling her close. The legal battle intensified, with Michael contesting my claims. The courtroom became a battleground, the air thick with tension. Each session felt like a test of endurance, but I held on, fueled by the need to protect Emily and secure our future. "Mrs. Carson, can you describe how Michael's actions have affected your daughter?" my lawyer asked during one particularly heated session. "Emily's been struggling at school, acting out because she doesn't understand why her father left. It's been devastating for her," I answered, my voice steady but filled with emotion. The turning point came when Emily spoke out in court, her small voice carrying the weight of her pain and resilience. "I miss my dad, but he hurt us. I just want things to be okay again," she said, her eyes meeting the judge's with a heartbreaking sincerity. In that moment, I saw the tide turn. The judge's demeanor softened, the scales of justice tipping in our favor. It was a small victory, but a significant one. The ruling came down in our favor, granting me full custody of Emily and securing financial support from Michael. As we left the courtroom, a sense of relief washed over me. The battle was far from over, but we had taken the first crucial step towards rebuilding our lives. Emily's hand in mine was a reminder of our strength, our resilience, and the unbreakable bond that would carry us through the darkest of times. With the support of friends like Jack and the newfound solidarity with Emily, I felt a glimmer of hope. We were picking up the pieces, one step at a time, forging a new path in the wake of betrayal. Rebuilding confidence wasn't an overnight process. Therapy sessions became a sanctuary where I could unpack the chaos of my life. My therapist, Dr. Harris, was a calm, steady presence. Her office was warm, filled with soft light and the scent of lavender. "Sophia, how are you feeling today?" she asked, her voice gentle but probing. "Exhausted, but determined," I replied, sinking into the plush chair. "It's been a struggle, but I think I'm finally seeing a way forward." That's a significant step. Recognizing your progress is crucial. "You're not the same person you were when you first walked in here," Dr. Harris observed, her eyes kind. She was right. Each session peeled back layers of doubt and fear, revealing a core of resilience I hadn't known existed. I learned to confront my past, to understand my worth beyond the betrayal that had shattered my trust. Just as I was beginning to find my footing, Michael reappeared, throwing everything into turmoil. He showed up at the doorstep one evening, looking haggard and remorseful. "Sophia, I made a mistake. I want to come back," he pleaded, his eyes filled with desperation. I stared at him, a mix of emotions churning inside me. "You left us, Michael. You took everything. Why should I believe you now?" I was lost. "But I've realized what's important. Please give me another chance," he implored, stepping closer. "No, Michael. You don't get to waltz back in and pretend nothing happened. Emily and I have been through hell because of you," I replied, my voice firm despite the turmoil within. Michael's return reignited the legal battle. He contested the divorce, making false claims and painting himself as the victim. The courtroom became a battlefield once more. My lawyer, Mr. Thompson, was a pillar of strength, guiding me through the labyrinth of legal maneuvers. During one particularly intense session, Michael's lawyer attempted to discredit me. "Mrs. Carson, isn't it true that you've been struggling financially and emotionally since your husband left?" he asked, his tone accusatory. "Yes, but that's because he took our savings and left us with nothing," I retorted, my anger barely contained. Mr. Thompson stepped in, his voice calm but authoritative. "Your Honor, the evidence clearly shows the hardship Mrs. Carson and her daughter have endured. This is not a case of mutual fault. It's a case of abandonment and betrayal." The tension in the room was palpable as the judge listened, her expression thoughtful. The turning point came when Emily spoke, her voice steady despite her small frame. "My dad hurt us. He left and didn't care about what happened to us. I just want to be with my mom," she said, her eyes meeting the judge's with a heartbreaking honesty. Her words tipped the scales. The judge ruled in our favor, granting me full custody and ensuring financial support from Michael. It was a small victory, but it felt monumental. As we left the courtroom, a sense of relief washed over me, mingled with a newfound determination. Emily and I began to rebuild our lives in earnest. Moving into a new home was the first step. It was smaller than our previous house, but filled with potential. As we unpacked, Emily's laughter echoed through the rooms, a sound that had been absent for too long. "Mom, can I paint my room purple?" she asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Of course, sweetheart. This is our home now. We can make it whatever we want," I replied, smiling at her enthusiasm. Finding a stable job was another crucial step. I landed in a position that offered better pay and more stability. The financial strain began to ease, replaced by a sense of security and peace of mind. "Congratulations, Sophia. You deserve this," Jack said when I told him the news, his smile genuine and warm. "Thank you, Jack. I couldn't have done it without your support," I replied, feeling a deep gratitude for his unwavering presence. Our friendship deepened, becoming a source of strength for both Emily and me. He was there for school events, weekend outings, and quiet evenings when the weight of the world seemed lighter in his company. One evening, as we sat on the porch, Jack turned to me, his expression serious. "Sophia, I need to tell you something. You've been through so much, and you've come out stronger. I admire you more than I can say. Jack, your support has meant everything to me. I don't know what I would have done without you," I said, my voice filled with emotion. "I'm not just saying this as a friend. I care about you, Sophia. Deeply," he confessed, his eyes searching mine. His words hung in the air, a mix of fear and hope swirling within me. But for now, I embraced the present, the steps we were taking towards a brighter future. With each passing day, Emily thrived in our new environment. Her grades soared, and she threw herself into extracurricular activities with a zeal that was inspiring. Watching her blossom was a reminder of why I fought so hard, why I endured the struggles. We became active in our community, finding joy in helping others. It was a healing process, one that forged new connections and rekindled old ones. I pursued further education, driven by a desire to set an example for Emily. The journey was challenging but fulfilling, a testament to our resilience and determination. And as Jack's proposal lingered in the back of my mind, I knew that whatever the future held, Emily and I were ready to face it. Moving into our new home felt like stepping into a new chapter of our lives. The house was modest, with creaky floorboards and a small backyard that Emily immediately claimed as her playground. But it was ours, a sanctuary we could mold to fit our needs and dreams. "Mom, look, there's even a tree for a swing." Emily's eyes sparkled with excitement as she pointed to a sturdy oak in the backyard. "We'll put one up soon." I promise, I replied, smiling at her infectious enthusiasm. The first night, as we settled into our new routines, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The weight of the past still lingered, but the promise of a fresh start was a balm to my weary soul. As I unpacked boxes, I reflected on how far we had come and the journey still ahead. Finding a new job was the next milestone. I had landed a position that offered stability and better pay, a far cry from the juggling act of multiple part-time jobs. The office was a blend of bustling activity and camaraderie, a stark contrast to the isolation I had felt during the darkest days. On my first day, I met Karen, a fellow single mother who became a quick friend. "You'll fit right in here, Sofia. Everyone's really supportive," she said, giving me a reassuring smile. "Thanks, Karen. It's been a while since I felt like I belonged somewhere," I admitted, feeling a surge of gratitude. The work was challenging but fulfilling, and I found myself thriving in the new environment. The financial stability brought a sense of peace, and for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. Emily's transformation in our new home was nothing short of miraculous. She threw herself into her studies and extracurricular activities with a fervor that amazed me. Her grades soared, and she joined the school's soccer team, her laughter ringing through the house after every practice. "Mom, Coach says I'm getting really good. I might even make the starting lineup next game," she beamed, her face flushed with pride. "That's fantastic, Emily. I'm so proud of you," I replied, pulling her into a tight hug. Our lives began to fill with moments of joy and normalcy, small victories that reminded us of our resilience. Jack's presence became a constant source of support, his friendship deepening as we navigated the complexities of our new beginning. One evening, as we sat on the porch, Jack turned to me, his expression serious yet tender. "Sophia, I've been thinking a lot about us. You and Emily mean the world to me. I want to be there for you in every way," he said, his voice steady. "Jack, you've already done so much. I don't want to burden you," I replied, my heart racing. "You're not a burden. You're my family," he said simply, his eyes filled with sincerity. His words stirred something deep within me, a blend of fear and hope. For now, I cherished his friendship and the stability it brought, but the possibility of something more lingered in my mind, a seed of hope waiting to grow. Emily's blossoming was a testament to our journey. She excelled in academics and athletics, her confidence growing with each achievement. Watching her thrive was a constant reminder of why I fought so hard, of the strength we both possessed. Our involvement in the community deepened, bringing a sense of belonging and purpose. We joined local events, made new friends, and found joy in helping others. The sense of community was healing, each connection a step towards rebuilding our lives. Pursuing further education became my next goal, driven by a desire to set an example for Emily and to redefine my own future. Balancing work, parenting, and studies was challenging, but it was a journey of growth and empowerment. One evening, after a long day, I sat down with Emily to review my coursework. "You're going back to school too, Mom?" she asked, her eyes wide with admiration. "Yes, I am. It's never too late to learn and grow," I replied, smiling at her. "You're amazing, Mom. I want to be just like you," she said, her words filling me with pride and determination. As I navigated my studies, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. Each milestone was a testament to our resilience, a reminder that we could overcome anything together. The road to recovery was long, but it was paved with moments of triumph and growth. Jack's proposal came as a beautiful surprise, a promise of a future built on trust and mutual respect. We were sitting in the backyard, watching Emily play, when he turned to me, his eyes filled with love and hope. "Sophia, will you marry me? I want to build a future with you and Emily, one filled with love and support," he asked, his voice steady. Tears filled my eyes as I looked at him, my heart swelling with emotion. "Yes, Jack. I'd love that," I replied, feeling a profound sense of joy and hope. Michael's attempts to re-enter our lives were always met with a mix of skepticism and resolve. Despite his pleas and promises, the damage was too deep and the boundaries I had set were firm. His latest visit was no exception, and each interaction only reinforced my decision to keep him at arm's length. One rainy afternoon, Michael showed up unannounced. I answered the door with a mix of resignation and frustration. "What are you doing here, Michael?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "I've been thinking a lot about what I did. I know I can't change the past, but I want to make things right," he said, his face etched with regret. "Making things right means more than just words, Michael. It means actions. You left us with nothing and then tried to make us feel guilty for your mistakes. Why should I believe you now? I replied, my tone unyielding. He sighed heavily. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just a chance to be part of Emily's life again. That's not something you get to decide. Emily and I have moved on, and we're doing fine without you. This is about what's best for her, and right now, that means keeping you at a distance, I said firmly. As I closed the door, I felt a pang of sadness. It was difficult to maintain such firm boundaries, but I knew it was necessary for our well-being. I had to focus on the present, on the life Emily and I were building together. The legal battles with Michael were over, but the emotional scars lingered. I threw myself into my work and studies, determined to move forward. The support from Jack and the stability we had found gave me the strength to keep pushing forward. One evening, Jack and I sat at the kitchen table, discussing our future. The room was filled with the soft glow of the table lamp, and the aroma of a freshly cooked meal lingered in the air. I've been thinking about our wedding, Jack said, his gaze steady and warm. I want it to be something meaningful, something that reflects what we've been through. I like that, I replied, feeling a surge of emotion. It's not just about us, it's about Emily too. She's been through so much, and I want this to be a celebration of our new beginning. Jack nodded. Absolutely. It's important to me that we all feel part of this new chapter. I want to make sure Emily feels as included and cherished as you do. Our wedding planning became a joyous distraction, a way to celebrate our new life and the future we were building together. We chose a small, intimate ceremony, surrounded by friends who had supported us through the darkest times. It was a day of laughter, love, and new beginnings. Emily's voice became increasingly important as we approached the wedding day. Her opinions on the decorations, the guest list, and even the cake were valued and included. Seeing her excitement and happiness made all the challenges worth it. The day of the wedding was everything we had hoped for. As Jack and I stood before our friends and family, exchanging vows, I felt a profound sense of peace and joy. Emily stood beside us as the flower girl, her smile bright and genuine. After the ceremony, as we shared our first dance as a married couple, Emily joined us on the dance floor. Can I have this dance too? She asked, her eyes shining with happiness. Of course, Jack said, lifting her into his arms as we danced together. In that moment, I felt a sense of completeness that had eluded me for so long. The past had shaped us, but it was the love and support we had found in each other that defined our future. Our life together continued to blossom. Jack and I navigated the challenges of blending our families with patience and love, always keeping Emily's needs at the forefront. We built a home filled with laughter, warmth, and a renewed sense of purpose. One day, as I sat with Emily in the backyard, watching her play, she turned to me with a thoughtful expression. Mom, do you think we're finally okay? I smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment. Yes, sweetheart. We're more than okay. We're happy and strong. We've made it through the toughest parts, and now we're ready for whatever comes next. Her smile mirrored mine, and as we sat together, surrounded by the life we had built, I knew that our journey had led us to a place of hope and possibility. The past had been painful, but it had also led us to this moment of joy and fulfillment. We were ready to embrace the future with open hearts and a renewed sense of optimism.